হবে না, মানে কোনো এরর হয়েছে যার জন্য প্রবলেমে ফেস করছি। বাই চান্স যদি ক্লাস না নিই আমি কিন্তু হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে ইনফর্ম করে দেবো সবাইকে।
আচ্ছা।
Acha, first of one, the indicated power. Whenever a engine is running, we can got the two type of power. One is the ideal power and one is the real power. This indicating power are nothing but a ideal power. What is that? The actual power developed inside in the cylinder is known as indicated power. If the network developed per cycle is considered at constant mean pressure throughout the stroke of the engine instead of the actual varying pressure, then the work done per stroke is called the force into distance traveled. Means this force can be again clarified into the mean pressure, into the area of pistons, into the stroke of the engine. This indicating power can be denoted by the I dot P. It is the actual power which are generated by the engine cylinder. This indicated power mathematically denoted by the IP equals to P suffix M into LAN divided by thousands. Acha, what is PM? P suffix M are stand for the mean pressure into the engine cylinder, which is denoted by Newton per meter square. And L stand for the stroke length, A stand for the area of the piston, and N stand for the number of stroke. And IP is denoted by the kilowatt. There is another important matter. This important matter is that if the engine is a single cylinder 4-stroke engine running at n rpm, mind it, if the engine is a single cylinder 4-stroke engine and running at n rpm, then it gives one power stroke for every 2 revolution. Is it right? What we can know for the case of the 4-stroke engine, a power stroke, there are only one power stroke for every 2 revolution. Therefore, the number of power strokes per minute are n by 2. Then small n equals to becoming capital N divided by 2. Okay. If the engine, another example is that if the engine is a single cylinder 2-stroke engine and running at n rpm, again I can repeat the conditions. If the engine is a single cylinder 2-stroke engine running at n rpm, then it gives one power stroke for every revolution. Therefore, number of power stroke per minute are n. Then small n equals to capital N. What is the meaning that whenever we are studying 4-stroke engine and 2-stroke engine, what happened? The combustion is much more uniform in 4-stroke engine as compared to the 2-stroke engine. What is the reason behind them? The reason behind them, whenever we are running a 4-stroke, there are 4 strokes are there and one power stroke for every 2 revolutions of the crankshaft. Okay, into the 4-stroke engine, crankshaft having the 4 revolution, but power stroke can be obtained by every 2 revolutions of the crankshaft. As a result, the charge should be burned very uniformly and maximum thermal efficiency or maximum work done can getting from that. But if we are observe for the 2-stroke engine, we are observing that crankshaft having the 2 revolution. Into the 2 revolution, it gives one power stroke. As a result, the charge should not burn uniformly. That's why the thermal efficiency getting the less than in that case. Another consideration is that if the PM is theoretical mean effective pressure, PM stands for the P suffix M. It stands for the theoretical mean effective pressure. What is the mean effective pressure? What is the pressure should be generated into the engine cylinder that is generated by the mean effective pressure. So whenever we are designing a engine cylinder, we are pre-calculating that what is the mean effective pressure should be created into the engine cylinder. It is denoted by the P suffix M. Then indicated power calculated is the theoretical indicated power of the engine. If PM is the actual mean effective pressure, then IP calculated in the actual IP indicated power of the engine. There are two terms are there. One terms is the theoretical indicated power. One terms is that actual indicated power. Theoretical indicated power means we know that these are the ideal condition, but whenever a engine is running, we know that we cannot got the ideal indicated power. Then this indicated power which have been obtained during a physically running a engine, it is known as the indicated power. If we are using this mean effective pressure, theoretical mean effective pressure for finding the indicating power, then it is known as the ideal or theoretical indicating power. If we are taking the value of mean effective pressure for actual condition, then we can obtain the indicating power known as the actual indicating power of the engine. Is it clear what I am saying? Hello? What are you asking? Say loudly. I am not audible your voice.
Sir, repeat করুন।
আচ্ছা রিপিট কি কেন, মানে রিপিট কেন, কোন জায়গাটা বোঝা যায়নি সেটা আমাকে বলো, আমি সেটা বুঝিয়ে দিচ্ছি। এতটা রিপিট করা যায় নাকি যতটা পড়ালাম এখন অবধি? There are two types of the, আমি আরো একবার এই জায়গাটা বুঝিয়ে দিচ্ছি। There are two types of the mean effective pressure. One is called the actual mean effective pressure. One is called the theoretical mean effective pressure. If we are using theoretical mean effective pressure for finding the indicating power of the engine, then this indicated power known as the theoretical indicated power. If we are using the actual mean effective pressure for finding the indicating power, then this indicating power known as the actual indicating power of the engine. Means if we are observe this formula for finding the indicating power, what are you observe that there are a values of PM. PM stand for the mean effective pressure. There are two type of mean effective pressure. One is actual, one is theoretical. If we are using the actual PM, then we can got the actual IP. If we can using the theoretical PM, then we can got the theoretical IP. That's all. Okay. Now the second power is called the brake power, which is denoted by the BP. What is brake power? A portion of the power developed inside the cylinder is lost in friction between the piston and cylinder. Friction between the crankshaft and main bearing, as well as friction between the gears and valve mechanism. Means we know that whenever a engine is run up, there are several type of losses can be occur. Some losses due to the friction between crankshaft and main bearing. Some losses due to the friction between gears and valve mechanism, and some losses friction between the piston and cylinder. So, how much power can be obtained after losing the friction? This power known as the brake power in the engine. Into the other word, if we had say, suppose we can using a engine for 100 kilowatt. We are designing a engine for generating the 100 kilowatt. So what is the meaning of that? The ideal power of the engine, it is known as the 100 kilowatt, which is known as the indicated power. But whenever the engine is actually running, we can obtain the 85 kilowatt. Then this 85 kilowatt can be considered as the brake power of the engine, because we are know that engine should be carrying the several type of the rotating elements. That's why there are several types of the frictional losses are there. After frictional losses, how much power we can got, that is known as actual power, or in other word, that is known as the brake power. So we can write like that: brake power equals to indicated power minus frictional power. Look at the equation. Is it right now? Now we can say that now. What is brake power? Brake power equals to indicated power IP minus FP, means indicated power minus frictional power equals to brake power. Some of the power is used for running the fuel pump, in lubricating oil pumps, water circulating pumps, and governor. There are losses are there. Na? The net power available at the crankshaft for doing useful work is always less than the actual indicating power of the engine. Mind it. Again, I can repeat this line. The net power available at the crankshaft for doing useful work is always less than the actual indicated power of the engine. The net power available at the crankshaft for doing useful work, known as a brake power. This available power is about 20 to 30% less than the normal. Means if we consider, we can design a engine as a 100 kilowatt as their indicating power, then we can got the brake power 70 to 80 kilowatt, means 20 to 30% less than the normal. Okay, now am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Acha, now the third terms are becoming the brake mean effective pressure. Just before I am stated that the mean effective pressure. Now the terms are becoming the brake mean effective pressure. If the power available at the crankshaft per cycle is represented on a PV diagram in the form of a rectangle, then it is always less than the area on PV diagram, which refers to the power developed inside the cylinder. Obviously, na, because if we are generated inside the engine cylinder, the values are becoming the ideal or theoretical. Whenever is engine are running, then we can getting some losses are there. As a result, the area of these PV diagrams are less than the actual condition. So the power available at the crankshaft per cycle is represented by the brake mean effective pressures. Okay, these are the brake power can be given P suffix n mb into L into A into N divided by 1000. L stand for the stroke length, A stand for the area, N stand for the number of stroke, and P suffix MB is stand for the brake mean effective pressures. Okay. These are the three types of important terms. Now we are coming to the different types of the engine efficiencies. The first and most important, number one, the mechanical efficiency. What is mechanical efficiency? It is very easy. The ratio of BP to IP. How much indicating power and what will the get the brake power? This ratio are known as mechanical efficiency. So mechanical efficiency are stand for the ratio between brake power divided by indicated power. In other words, what we know, brake power stand for indicated power minus frictional power divided by indicating power. And there are several factors are there which are affecting the mechanical efficiency. So what are the factors which are affecting the mechanical efficiency? In other words, what is the factor depends behalf on the mechanical efficiency. First of one, method of cooling of engine. If we are using a proper cooling system onto the engine, then we can obtain the higher mechanical efficiency. Second of one, method of lubricating the engine. If we are using a proper lubricating systems with proper lubricant, they are increasing the mechanical efficiency. Third of one, design of the engine. Obviously, the design of the engine another factor which are affecting the mechanical efficiency. Fourth of one, accuracy used in manufacturing the part. It is a very common for the concept of the manufacturing. Okay, if we are accurately manufactured the part, obviously it should be increasing the mechanical efficiencies of the engines. Number fifth, alignment of the different engine part during the assembly. Whenever we are assembling the engine, if we are maintaining the proper alignment, it should be increasing the mechanical efficiency. And finally, load on the engine. If we can run the engine due to in between the safe load, then the engine given the higher mechanical efficiency. If we are run the engine at overloading, obviously as a result mechanical efficiencies should be reduces. The mathematically mechanical efficiency written as it is the ratio of power available at the crank per power stroke divided by power developed inside the engine per power stroke. Okay, you can write down this equation which are underlined by me. Okay, second of one are becoming the আচ্ছা লেখা হয়েছে এটা সবার? Am I audible?
Sir.
Okay. Second of one are becoming the thermal efficiency. What is thermal efficiency? The brake thermal efficiency is the ratio of brake power or output power to the heat energy of fuel supplied during the same interval of time. Mathematically, thermal efficiency is equals to power developed per hour divided by energy supplied per hour. Means how much power can be supplied, after that how much power can be get up from the engine. This ratio are considered as the thermal efficiencies. And mathematically it is denoted as BP into 3600 divided by MFB into CV. CV stands for the calorific values of fuel. We know that every fuel having some calorific value, and this CV stands for the calorific values. Acha. Acha. And another new terms are there. M suffix FB. This M suffix FB is the fuel supplied per hour. Okay. M suffix FB R stands for the fuel supplied per hour in the engines. The brake thermal efficiency, also known as overall efficiency, and the indicated thermal efficiency is the ratio of indicated power to the heat of the fuel. Indicated power to the heat of fuel supplied during the same interval of time. So, indicated thermal efficiency can be written as N suffix IT equals to IP into 3600 divided by M suffix FI into CV. This C suffix EI is the fuel consumption per kilowatt per hour on IP basis, and it is known as fuel consumption on indicated power basis. Okay. Number 3 is the relative efficiencies. What is relative efficiencies? Relative efficiency is the ratio of indicated thermal efficiency to the air standard efficiency. It is the ratio of indicated thermal efficiency to the air standard efficiency is known as relative thermal efficiency. And mathematically, eta suffix R equals to eta suffix IT divided by eta suffix A. What is eta suffix A? Eta suffix A is stand for the air standard efficiencies. If the indicated thermal efficiency calculated on theoretical indicated power basis, then relative efficiency is also on the theoretical indicated power basis. If the relative efficiency calculated on actual indicating power basis, then relative efficiency is also on calculated IP basis. Okay, and finally, number 4 is volumetric efficiencies. The volumetric efficiencies of the cylinder of an internal combustion engine is the ratio of actual volume at normal temperature and pressure of the charge admitted during the suction stroke to the swept volume of the piston. Again I can repeat. Okay, this line is long and complicated. What is volumetric efficiency? The volumetric efficiency of the cylinder of an internal combustion engine is the ratio of actual volume. Actual volume at what? Actual volume at normal temperature and pressure of the charge admitted during the suction stroke. When the charge admitted during the suction stroke, in that time, volume at normal pressure and temperature to the sweep volume of the piston. So we can write down mathematically. We can write down the volumetric efficiency eta suffix v equals to actual volume per stroke at NTP divided by stroke volume, means V suffix A divided by V suffix S. The volumetric efficiencies of an engine is also defined as the ratio of actual mass of air induced by the engine during the intake stroke to the theoretical mass of air that should have been inducted by filling the piston displacement volume with air at atmospheric temperature and pressure. Okay, so volumetric efficiency N suffix V equals to, again we can write down M suffix A divided by M suffix TH. This MS stand for the M suffix A stand for the actual mass of air induced per intake stroke, and MTH stand for the M suffix TH stand for the theoretical mass of air to fill the piston displacement volume under the atmospheric consideration. These four are the very important. And another one is that the factor which are affecting the volumetric efficiencies. There are several factors can be affected to the volumetric efficiencies. First factor is that temperature of the charge entering the cylinder. Second of one, the mass of the exhaust gases left in the engine cylinder at the end of the exhaust stroke. Third of one, the resistance of inlet valve to flow the fresh charge into the cylinder during the suction stroke, and finally cooling method adopted for the engine. Okay, these are the prime four factor which are the affecting the engine cylinder. Okay, these are the four different types of the efficiencies and different types of the brake powers.